Well, obviously not the results you wanted this past weekend, but what do you kind of take from it? What do you kind of build on it now as you come back home for a couple of games against Liberty and Delaware?
Well, I mean, trying to keep the locker room positive, keep them, we talked about when you're riding a bike uphill, you can't stop pedaling. And so we're just trying to keep them continuing to work hard and believe in one another and just, you can't win if you don't keep fighting. And I was proud of their effort at Louisiana Tech. Like, we don't have the returning experience or the talent that Louisiana Tech has, but they continue to play hard. We had some foul trouble, had some players come off the bench and did a good job. Had some players didn't do as well, but they continued to fight and we shot the ball decently that game. Got out rebounded, didn't do better than the first half, but they continue to just battle, and we missed a lot of layups. And that's really a separator for us right now, is being able to finish in the paint. And so, and then defensively, we didn't. One of the keys was to get on the three-point line, and we just still do not close all the way out and take away those three-point shots. So those are the things that we took away from the trip. But even we practiced this morning before we came in here, and so they've had good energy, good practice. They continue just to work hard, study their scouts. They know what's going on. We have some limitations, and we're trying to overcome those.
We always talk about rebounds and being able to score and stuff like that. I mean, you saw in that UTEP game, getting out to that 10-0 lead, that was honestly a huge momentum shift at the very beginning of that one. In these past couple of games, they get behind early, and then it's kind of like they're trying to fight their way back. So how do you kind of address that with just being able to start very quickly?
And that's a great point, because it changes their confidence level when they see that score, and it really comes down to finishing some shots early. Like we've run some actions and got some decent looks, and just haven't put the ball in the hole, and a lot of them have been layups or around the rim, and making sure we're not turning the ball over. Sometimes we've had to take some timeouts or make some substitutions because we're just not getting shots, and so that if we can see that ball go in the basket early, that helps a ton. In this game, in the Louisiana Tech game, Tulegde, Zofia got in foul trouble real quickly, and that impacted us some. So we need our best players on the floor and to play well for us to be in a position to have a chance to win.
I was going to ask something similar along those lines. The rebounding performance against UTEP was obviously great. You moved that a little bit this past weekend. How do you kind of tap back into the mindset that this team brought during that game, especially against Liberty?
Yeah, just to continue to be relentless in pursuing the ball. Sometimes when we watch film, they'll see themselves box out, but not continue to pursue that, whether that means I've got to keep you from getting to it or I've got to go after it, and the other teams are just being they're a little quicker, maybe a little stronger, and they're just getting past us and getting to the ball, and we've got to just be a lot more relentless, all five of us, not two, not three, not four. It's got to be all five.
You're coming off a road trip against two of the obviously better teams at the top of the standings right now, and now you face two teams, and one kind of a surprise, and the one Liberty's kind of going through it right now. Two teams that maybe are kind of looking for answers, much like yourself right now.
Well, and Liberty's got arguably the best shooter in the conference, and she does a great job. She was a great shooter last year, and she continues to be one of the best shooters in this conference. And then having Stout inside with a little bit of experience as well in size, they've got two really, really nice players. And then the point guard number 4 does a tremendous job of just, I think she's second, third in assist in the conference, and does a great job of just finding the players and putting her teammates in a spot where they can do what they do well. And so they've got we tried to get Jacayla Thompson, Kentucky kid, try to get her here, and she's coming off the bench and attacks the basket well for them and scored real well in the Delaware game for them. And so they've got good players around them, and then they rebound the ball well inside with Stout and Iffy, I can't say her last name, number 6. They do a great job of getting after the boards, and so we've got our hands full in trying to guard really good shooters and then protect the lane on those drivers, and then trying to keep some of those good rebounders off the boards. And so we've got, and then Delaware had a big win against Liberty, and so we'll get ready for that one after Thursday. But we've got our hands full with some really talented players and a really solid Liberty team.
You mentioned the rebound, actually. That's the kind of thing I was going to go to. Second in the conference in rebounding, but it seems like their thing, right, is turnover margin. They're turning the ball over a lot.
They go through spells, where they turn the ball over. I think what they do well is they know what each other's strengths are, and they do a really good job of finding whether it's Mills for a shot or Thompson for a drive or whatever it might be. They do a really good job of finding that player, and they're real patient. They're almost methodical in how they go about their offense and making sure that they get what they're looking for that player. And so they don't. It's kind of, they'll turn that ball over sometimes when they're pressured into doing things outside of that. And so that's our challenge. Can we do that? Can we do that enough to get enough possessions? And then we get out in transition. Can we finish some of those layups? And that kind of gets back to what you were talking about in that lead. And sometimes we get in transition. We were at Louisiana Tech. We missed 5 consecutive layups one time, and that's just tough when you're getting shots right by the rim and you're not coming away with, and it's deflating. And so it takes a lot of effort to try to make sure we continue just to keep running that race and keep fighting.
And coming off a really tough road swing here, I mean, it's really not going to get any
No.
easier from here on out. So what are some things you're really hoping to see from this team as the season just continues to keep going?
Right. Well, as we've been talked at halftime, we've got to control what we can control, and that's our effort on the boards, trying to get back out to those three-point shots, and that's the defensive end. And then we're trying to, on offense, make sure we're trying to finish or get fouled. And those are the two things. Sometimes we take shots that aren't high percentage shots, and then sometimes we're trying to avoid contact when we can just either draw the foul or finish the shot. And so we've worked real hard on that, trying to stay on balance. I think in moments we've done a better job of controlling our turnovers, which is good, just making sure we get shots. And we didn't shoot the ball poorly at Louisiana Tech, but there are stretches and there are shots that we just need more. We scored 65. Obviously we needed more and to not give up as many threes. So those are the things we've been, and then the number one message is continue to run the race, continue to fight, continue to ride that bike uphill. Don't give up.
On Saturday, you guys got Delaware. What does that kind of add to the game the first time taking on each other as conference foes?
Well, I mean, I don't know, other than it's just the next game. I mean, we haven't even looked forward to Delaware. We're focused on Liberty, obviously, and so we know that they had a big win. And watching them prepare that game, I thought they did a good job of really attacking, and their pressure defense was disruptive. We've had moments where we've not handled that well. We've had moments where we've done a good job. I think that we can continue to get our player movement on offense more consistent, and we'll find more easy shots. And so, we'll look forward to Saturday after Thursday's game. But it'll be. We've seen Delaware on film. I think we were at a tournament 2 years ago where they played as well. We thought we might play them, but it didn't happen that way. So there's some familiarity, but not really. And so really, it'll be the next game.
With school starting back today too, almost kind of, and it being at home this week, almost kind of now back in a little bit of a routine. It feel like a good thing.
A little bit of a routine. I mean, we haven't had to have a whole lot of routine practices at 7 a.m. just to make sure we can get to class on time. And our classes are a little spread out. We have a couple young ladies that have a real late class, so we had to get our practice and get our workouts in this morning. But now they're able to go to class and do what they need to do, and so and get to study hall and tutors and all that kind of stuff that they got to do. So we'll get back in a little bit more of a routine through the end of this semester. Yeah.
Big things, I guess, like takeaways that I saw for that Louisiana Tech game. I mean, Trinity Rowe's really been stepping up here recently, especially with her long-range shooting, but also on that other end, Louisiana Tech had a lot of threes in that game. Just kind of how in-game adjustments for that perimeter defense.
Yeah, it's about getting back. Number one, not losing your next responsibility, making sure that you're aware of where your next defensive responsibility is. And sometimes we get a little bit of tunnel vision, or a little bit, I call it ball watching. We'll kind of stare at the ball, and we're a little surprised by my next job, and or my primary job. And in our closeout, sometimes we got players that they're afraid to get beat on the dribble, so they close out short and stop. Well, a good shooter's not going to stop that. A good shooter's going to pull that trigger anyway. And so, we work on that every day. That's a key part of our scouting report. It's actually, we went over it this morning for Liberty. And so we've got to just have that commitment to get out on that three-point shooter. And, I always tell them, if you give up that three, we don't have any defense for that. If you get out and close out and they put it on the floor, we can bring you some help. We've got another chance. But if you give that shot up, that's the end of the play. And so we've got to get that mindset that a win on a closeout is not to not get beat on the drive. That obviously what we don't want to happen, but a win is to make sure you don't get off a good shot.
On the other side, on offense, it seems Salma has just really stepped up this month in what she's able to bring scoring-wise. What have you seen from her and maybe the difference between this month and the past?
Well, number one, she's been healthy. That's helped. And number two, she's been aggressive attacking the basket. And so, she's been consistently, she's probably one of our better drivers at getting to the rim, and she's really worked on being under control, making sure she's getting good shots at the rim. And I know she went through a little stretch at Louisiana Tech where they're collapsing and playing that drive and really just trying to stop her at the rim. They're not trying to stop her 10, 12, 15 feet from the basket. And so she'll have to continue to work on developing our game and having other reads, but she's been really good at getting to the basket, and we need her to do that. We need somebody that can get there, and now we need her to finish a few more, draw a few more fouls.
Coach, before we started this one, speaking of health, I know you said there was maybe a little incident in practice this morning. Any update on that?
I don't want to say anything yet, but one of the young ladies just took a tough fall, and so we're getting everything checked out, and it's not one of our high-minute players right now, but I'm concerned about all of them. It doesn't matter if you're a redshirt player or a 40-minute player. I don't want that to happen to anyone. So I texted her and just told her I'll check on you in just a minute. And so it's unfortunate. She was playing hard. Nothing, it's just a basketball play, and just kind of lost some balance, and so we just got to check and make sure she's okay.
Anything else?
Thanks, guys.